I'll give you a choose your own adventure, Jeff Merrick. Do you want to talk goalie fights or do you want to talk players hitting 2,000 points?
Talk about Carter Hutton fighting Peter Mrazek in the American Hockey League. That's what I'll talk about here. Let's do goalie fights, man. Like, honestly, it's, there used to be an old saying, I think it might have been Conn Smythe who said this. We need to do something about all this fighting or we're going to have to make larger buildings. Everybody in that rink last night, whether you're the players, whether you're the guys on the bench, whether you were the fans watching Bob skating down the ice and they're chanting his name and the standing ovation and all of it, everybody loved it. Now, here's what I have for you guys. So this is, it's funny. You were just talking about, 2,000 points and stats that'll, never be touched and records that'll never be touched. And you mentioned hockeyfights.com. Which goaltender in the history of the NHL do you think has the most career fights? We're going to do this on the sheet. Zach's actually putting a collage together for it. This is how so serious I take hockey fights, guys. Of all the goaltenders in the NHL, who do you think has the most? And how many fights did this goaltender have?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll guess Billy Smith probably had 3 or 4 in his career, just because he's the name that always jumps in.
Bingo!
Hey.
Nailed it. Billy Smith is the guy. What did you say, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
21. and here's the thing about Billy Smith. Billy Smith wouldn't just fight other goalies. He fought players and he fought tough players like Dave Semenko. He fought Dave Brown. He fought Steve Durbano. Like Billy Smith is the bar. And that is one stat that I'm very comfortable saying will never be broken. The all-time goalie fights leader in the NHL, Billy Smith, with 21. No one, and I mean no one, is ever going to. It's funny too. There's in one of the great interviews of all time. Maybe we should show this too. When the Islanders beat the Oilers in Stanley Cup final, Billy Smith won the Conn Smythe Trophy. In the post game, as they presented the trophy to him, he spent like half of it insulting Wayne Gretzky. It's one of the most incredible pieces of video. Yeah, different era here, guys. But that's Billy Smith. Maybe the most intense goaltender. We all love Ron Hextall. Maybe the most intense goaltender to ever play the game. But yes, 21 career fights, Billy Smith. Tyler, you nailed it. Good job.
That's crazy.
And it was fun. Listen. It was. No, no one's even going to come close. No one's getting double digits, right? And Billy Smith got 21. Is it just me? And this is not just from the NHL side of things, but also PWHL, who just, they just handed out Taylor Girard just got a 4-game suspension. She left the bench to join a 5-on-5 brawl at the end of the game in Washington the other day between Montreal and New York. Is it just me, or is hockey leaning into violence more this season? And is it a continuation of what we saw last season? Essentially, what I'm saying is the pendulum swinging back, right? Because the thing the pendulums do is they swing hard one way, and then they swing hard back the other way. They overcorrect, and then they hit their equilibrium. Are we at the place right now where it went like anti-violence, 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 went hardcore violence to anti-violence, and now we're getting to the part where we're trying to find the comfort zone of where fighting, goaltenders or otherwise, fits in hockey again? That's the way it feels to me.
Well, I don't know if it's the fact that the fighting has to come into play, but like when I think of the way you're building a team now, it's changed the pendulum. So it went from this hockey style where it was clutch, grab, big, slow, tie you up, tough. Yep. Now all of a sudden it's all skill. Now you want a Matthew Nyes, you want a Matthew Tkachuk, you want a Brady Tkachuk. So I feel like the violence and the physicality has gone through the roof a bit more because not every guy in the lineup can toe drag you. You need guys to play through, and I think that just heightens the awareness of what goes on in the physicality of the game.
Tyler, can I ask your co-host a question? I don't mean to host a show here. Here's something I've always been curious about. I've had these conversations with people before about fighting. I don't think that fighting is as important in hockey as the threat of a fight. Knowing that there is someone there who, if things go sideways, could do something about it. I find that is more important than the actual fight itself. Of the three of us, Hutz, you were the only one that played. Is that accurate? That's always the way that I've felt. It's the threat of a fight that's more important than the actual fight itself.
I think so, for sure. It's the fact that it just keeps things in check, right? And I had a chance to play with some very, very tough guys. I think back to playing the American League when I played with Brandon Bolig. And in the American League, almost sometimes it was worse because you had to fight heavyweights every single night. And then I had a chance to play in the NHL where I played with Fraser McLaren. I played with Ryan Reeves for, a year in St. Louis. And it wasn't necessarily that they were going to fight. It was the fact of when the game started to escalate and shots started getting taken at players and the game started to get physical at times. You could read the room enough. Ryan would just stand up. Revo would stand up and just kind of bark a little bit from the bench. And you could just feel the presence of like our star players and their players knowing that like the temperature now in the room has to come. Okay, boys, we're playing hockey, but let's keep it within these lines, or there's going to be repercussions, right? And I think that where the game polices itself, the fact that having players that can handle themselves keeps guys in check. And I think there is a lot of value in that. But nowadays, you got to be able to play. The nasty Morasties are done. And if you can't skate, you can't play.
Oh, yeah. I still love my John Morasty, Jeremy Yablonski fights in the American League. Give me those all day long. But to that point, you're right. And but here's the thing now. Like, you guys go to all these games. You guys go to like all different levels of hockey. You see it. You're a hockey dad, Carter. Like, you see it probably at your kids' level too. Whenever I go to games, I always marvel and I always say the same thing. Where did the bad skaters go? Where did all the bad skaters go? Like, all the bad skaters are gone. So we live in an era right now where everybody can skate, everybody can shoot, everybody can play make. And you're finding more and more managers saying to their scouts, either professional or amateur, find me someone who brings something else, right? Everybody can skate. We could find those guys, playmakers. Like, we can find these guys, but find me someone that can do something else. And that's why I wonder if it's sort of swinging back now, or maybe it's just sort of settling at its middle ground where it's supposed to be. I don't know. This is just sort of like sticking your thermometer in the game here, but that's kind of where I see the temperature of the game right now. I don't know if I'm on base or off base.
If you want to find some bad skaters, 10:15 tonight, south side of Edmonton. I got 11 buddies. I'll show you some bad skaters, Jeff. I know where they're going.
Knock-kneed skaters. Yeah. Here we go. Okay.
I want to talk to you.
They're all goalies. The bad skaters are goalies.
Yeah, that too. You covered this really, really well on your show last week, but the Linus Ullmark thing and the way the Senators have handled it. I mean, today he has a sit down with, I believe, Claire Hanna on TSN. And again, credit to Linus for coming out and talking about it. But there is a little part of me that goes like, man, for an organization who keeps telling everyone to stop talking about the rumors, the Senators are sure talking a lot about the rumors.
They are. This is one of those situations though where, well, first of all, there's a frustration level in Ottawa. Okay. Like, it is a very sensitive, it's a very fragile market. We saw it spill over with all of the rumors and the vehement denials from either the general manager or the captain. And we also saw it from Jake Sanderson, who didn't lie. He was honest. He got the shots wrong, but in spirit, he was right. We're just used to hearing that, like that. Those are things that are discussed, as Carter knows, in closed door players only meetings. When you look at the level of frustration that teams go through, like, there are certain things as a hockey player you can expect to go through: losing streaks, going cold, like goalless streaks. Your goaltenders are hard to hit, and all of a sudden, like, you're scotched by your goalies. But these are all things that players expect to go through. And the one thing that I really didn't like through all of this was the idea that fans thought that they deserved more information about Linus Ullmark. Now, as a professional athlete, you surrender a lot of your private life to fans. You surrender things like health information. Whereas for guys like me and Tyler, like, okay, I got a broken arm, shoulder, or something like that, dislocated shoulder, like, that's my business. Or anything else that's going on about my health, like, that's my business. When you're a professional athlete, you surrender that. But there is a line, right? Like, there is a line past which you don't cross. And I think most sane people in this world will look at mental health and say, that's the line. The one thing that I really found distasteful through all of this was the amount of people who thought that Ottawa owed them more information than they deserved. And when it comes to mental health, that's no one's business other than that person and that person's family, and perhaps to a certain extent, the team as well. But other than that was the one area where I really found it was distasteful, because it ain't my business what's happening between Linus Ullmark's ears. It's not Carter's and it's not Tyler's. It's none of our business. I didn't like the way people thought that somehow the marketplace was owed, owed an explanation as if it were like an Achilles tear. It's not. When you have like a broken arm, like your arm is part of you, but your brain is you. That's always a distinction that I draw. Your brain isn't part of you. Your brain is you. No one else should be privy to that information other than you, your family, your closest friends, and perhaps in this case, your employer.
That makes sense. I think at times, like from my perspective of like being in it and, the family side of it and everything, I think at times people forget the human factor, right? Like even when later in my career, when people would be like, and I guess maybe my mental health issues were the old school ways too. If something was wrong, I grew up in you pack it away and you go, we're trying to make healthier athletes and healthier people, but we are human, right? And there is things that happen to us on and off the rink that affect us day to day. And it's that happy medium of much is given, much is expected, right? This is also the life we chose, right? We talk about The Godfather, right? Jeff, we had that conversation when this was going down, the famous quote, right? This is the life you choose, right? And so a lot comes with it, but there is a line. And I think that's where it needs to be walked. And it's a tricky one. And the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. I don't care how much money you make or what sports you play. You have to protect that side of the game. And I think that's something that's important.
Yeah.
There are moments like we saw this. I'm trying to think where we saw this last. Austin Matthews and Mark Masters. At the Toronto Maple Leafs Vegas Golden Knights game, and Masters asked him a question about Mitch Marner, and Mitch essentially put up the stop sign and said, like, I'm done with the Marner questions. Let's move on. My first thought was, that's what the money's for. Like at that point, you can say, yeah, you know what? It might be annoying, but that's what the money's for. You may not like doing it, but that's what the money's for. Someone's mental health, I would hope that no one would ever say, we need to know what's happening between his ears because that's what the money's for. That's not what the money's for. That's not what the money's for. I know these guys make a lot of money. I get it, but that's not what the money's for.
So, I mean, I don't mean this to be insensitive on the heels of what the answer you just gave, which I think was really, really well put in it. And it's important to keep in mind. But at the same time, let's like the hockey side of this Sens thing. They don't have a first round pick this year. They're likely going to miss the playoffs. This is a disaster of like, you want to call Vancouver a mess because Vancouver's on a franchise record long losing streak. Like, yep, Vancouver's a mess. Ottawa's a disaster.
And the thing that makes it more infuriating, you're bang on, Tyler. The thing that makes it even more infuriating for Michael Andlauer, the owner of the Ottawa Senators, and Steve Staios, and go all the way down, this infraction wasn't their doing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like this was nothing that they did that caused them to surrender this for honestly, like I know that, with the Ilya Kovalchuk contract situation, the New Jersey Devils were dinged for a first round pick. That ended up getting covered over and that one went away. I am wondering / hoping, considering there is precedent with Kovalchuk, that this one goes away. I didn't like it when it first happened. I didn't think it was fair for Andlauer and the Ottawa Senators. I still feel the exact same way about it. And I don't think anything is going to change my mind. I hope the same grace the NHL gave the New Jersey Devils with the Kovalchuk surrendering of the first round draft pick is the same grace they show the Ottawa Senators here. As Tyler, to your point, they're poised to have a disaster and if things continue to go wrong and then have to surrender a first round pick. I don't like it. I don't like it.
And whatever. We don't need to revisit the old conversation, but I just thought that was an insane punishment. Like I was sitting there being like, take their first round pick and say like, hey, you're locked in at 32 overall that year or something. But like taking it away fully was always insane to me. Jeff, what's coming up on the sheet today?
So we're going to be talking about goalie fights. Greg Wyshynski is aboard today, so we will do a thing on goalie fights. And Drew Remenda, color analyst for the San Jose Sharks. We're talking about the Sharks. We'll do the Kiefer Sherwood. We'll do Alex Nedeljkovic, feeding it to Bob yesterday. And by the way, did you see how crazy Macklin Celebrini was watching that on the bench yesterday? Like, he was like popping like the cork out of a champagne bottle. This was like the coolest thing. The kid's like got the world on a string right now. He's going to the Olympics. And like, I'm looking at this, like, this might be the happiest moment he's had all season long, watching his goaltender fight with Sergei Bobrovsky. So it's going to be a lot of San Jose Shark talk coming up on the program today.
Yeah. At some point you remember, he's 19. Like, hell yeah, you'd be fired up.
I know, right?
Jeff, thank you for popping on as always, and we'll chat again with you next week.
Goalie fight tonight in your beer league, Tyler, 10:30. Let's go. Bad skaters and goalie fights. Here we go. Let's go.
I hope not. There you go. Jeff Merrick from The Sheep.
Hey, hockey fans, if you enjoyed that video, then make sure you hit the subscribe button right here on the Daily Faceoff YouTube. We have you covered for everything you need. Exclusive interviews on The Sheet with Jeff Merrick, all the latest hockey news on Daily Faceoff Live, and you can always get your morning started with Johnny Lazarus and Colby Cohn on Morning Cup of Hockey. Don't miss a minute. Hit that subscribe button.